All right. We are live, and it's going to look a little bit weird because I had to deal with some networking issues. Um, so you're going to see the logo from, if you saw the logo at first and then us two, um, I started the broadcast from the desktop, but the camera and the microphone on that desktop are muted. I'm on my phone doing this. You're at your computer.
Yep.
And
main PC. Even though I've got another one sitting here in the right. Oh, my Pi hasn't been plugged in for a while, but it's
yep. Anyway, after having these issues and having you re-invite me in, and all of a sudden it just kept failing and failing. Like I joined, but then couldn't do the broadcast live because it just quit. I deleted that video, by the way. I discovered that, hey, this might actually be a good thing because, voila, this is the desktop running Mate Edition. I added Chrome to it. This is the $5 system that I bought at the Salvation Army store last year. 7 gigs of RAM, 1 gigabyte HD Radeon 5600 series video card, 640 gig hard drive. DVD burner will not eject. It's going to have to get replaced. But $5. so that's going to be a project worth working on. Do you have any upcoming projects?
none at the moment. I've been kind of working a little bit through a set of books that I have acquired off of the Humble Bundle, if you're familiar with that.
I am.
If I can find the name of it. But it's a set of programming books and then another set of game development books that are all centered around some about philosophy, not philosophy, but processes, and then the basic concepts and stuff like that, and then some implementation type books with Java and Python. So I'm gonna hopefully this year kind of delve into that a little bit. I don't know if I'll produce anything, but I'll see how that goes. But I'm definitely interested in it after taking the course that I took in college a couple of years ago. I want to get back into some of those concepts and look at it and read a little bit and go from there. And then I need to get back to my Pi that's been sitting here for I don't know how long. I haven't done anything with it.
I'm going to have to plug mine back in and see what I can do with it. In the meantime, we kind of did a brief kind of reaction to 2016 last episode, but there were some things that we really didn't get to talk about. So I'm going to scooch over here and look at that screen and scroll up. Oh, by the way, this is how much my girlfriend loves me. It's not the most powerful thing in the world, but I have a new tablet, by the way.
Yeah? I noticed some posts about it.
Yeah. I can't install too many on here because it has some ability to move some apps, but not very many. And the only reason some of them will move to SD card is because they remove any widget ability. But this is it right here, the Galaxy Tab A7 or something like that. It's still at 50% battery, but then again, that's because I haven't really done anything with it. So I put a SD card in it, and that'll be for when I want to do some light work without having to worry about messing with too many things at once. But one of the things that kind of stood out to me was I remember Oregon, how there was that big standoff there, and then everybody was acquitted, which a lot of people have mixed feelings on. I on the one hand, I'm not so sure it was necessary for them to do what they did in the first place, especially if it's a building where nobody is really doing anything during the winter. But on the other hand, court case precedents can be used for those who were, say, protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline. So it might help them out. Hey, why are you charging us with stuff? These people over here were acquitted. So there's that. You brought up the, Flint, Michigan's water supply being, poisoned.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily that was the problem, but what made the whole situation worse was the involvement of the local and some state officials. I had did some double checking earlier, and if I remember right, supposedly 13 supposed local and state officials were all um, uh, charged in some way, shape, or form out of this whole crisis and debacle. And then there were 4 apparently during the middle of the whole situation that actually resigned because of 4 local officials that resigned from all the dealings and everything that had gone down. But the situation didn't even get resolved until state and federal officials stepped in and said, hey, you need to do something about this and fix this whole situation. These people can't even get clean drinking water. And from the governor's involvement and calling basically calling in the National Guard and making an emergency situation, they were able to bring in some clean drinking water and some other things, and then they finally got some new filters and stuff installed, and even the president made a stop to actually make sure that is this drinking water safe to drink and actually drink out of the new fountains and stuff like that, which is pretty neat. But it's absolutely ridiculous. It took that level of involvement to fix a problem in one city.
And that's the bad part. It doesn't matter what party lines you fall under. A lot of them were local Democrats that got themselves in trouble too. And it just goes to show that you can't put people in a box because some assumptions are going to be proven false. Local politics can be weirder than national politics, especially with regards to somebody declaring that as coroner he'll buy a freezer if he has to. But that's a story for another day. that was entertainment front. World Wrestling Entertainment rating, or bringing in independent stars to boost their brand. AJ Styles debuted in the Royal Rumble last year, lasted a significant amount of time. Samoa Joe is getting close to being to the main roster. And John Cena, by the way, this could be a possible things to come because apparently Cena posted an Instagram picture of AJ Styles last year before he debuted at the Rumble. This year, he Instagrammed a picture of none other than Kenny Omega, who has made a big name for himself with New Japan Pro Wrestling. He didn't quite win the IWGP title, but apparently the match was really, really good. But Styles went on to become the WWE World Champion. Of course, the Note 7's exploding. I had a Note 3, by the way, not a 5. I opted not to go with the 4 because they downgraded on something connection related. And I definitely didn't go with the 5 because I'm like, I can't put an SD card in it.
I can't blame you there.
But hell, if a Note 8 comes along this year and there's not too many problems with it, I may upgrade to that. Um, Other than that, I'm satisfied with the S7. It's done me well so far. In fact, that is where you're seeing my face right now is on this S7. In fact, if I rotate this, you know, wide vision, yay. Um, but yeah, that's entertainment front. That's where I kind of saw that. Um, Also have a list of video games that were released too, and I need to watch where I put my hand in front of that camera angle. Like January, Rise of Tomb Raider, XCOM 2, Rocket League, Far Cry Primal, and Street Fighter 5 in February. Another Resident Evil game, and on it goes. And of course, Overwatch was the big one. Um, which one of these have you played or taken a look at?
Um, so the first one, if I was going in order of the list, the first one that I still want to get is Doom, and then Quantum Break I was interested in. I've never played any of the Dark Souls. I probably should, but Overwatch looked very interesting to me. But let me see. The ones I've played in the list, it doesn't hit until I hit the July with Pokemon Go when it was released. I played it for a little bit, and it was definitely entertaining, and it would soak up some of your time. But the next two in the list in August, No Man's Sky, I didn't pick that up until about a month ago. But Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, I picked that up sometime in August for my birthday, and I mean, I have a lot of complaints about this game, but at the same time, I have a lot of likes about it and things that should be praised about it. In terms of gameplay, it was amazing. It was really good. There were so many different combinations of things you can do, how you can execute taking down your enemies. You can do. I managed to go through almost the entire game without actually killing anyone, which was really awesome because you can just come up to people and beat the crap out of them and knock them out and stuff like that, and then use stun darts and tranquilizer darts and stuff to actually just knock people out from your weapons. But from the storyline perspective of it, there's so many things that were actually wrong with the video with this game because of basically it made an assumption that all players chose. In the previous game, this is supposed to be a sequel to Human Revolution. In the previous game, you were given 3 choices at the end of the game based on how you wanted to handle the situation that happened at the end of the game. And if you play Mankind Divided, they kind of explain one of those 3 situations, and it basically forced you into thinking that you made that choice. And that's my only complaint with it, is that it just took that and then went with it. So there were some things there that kind of just didn't make sense. And then the end of the game, I found the whole story up to that point to be very strong, very demanding and engaging. The beginning was just grabs you and pulls you as you win. But closer and closer you get to the end, you get closer and closer to this cliffhanger. You get to the very end and you're just let down, in my opinion. It just leaves you there and then nothing. And I'm not sure if Square Enix did that on purpose, just for Square Enix and Eidos did that on purpose just to have the ability to put more games out, or if they were just severely lacking in content to actually provide to us. I'm not sure. I mean, I could see an explanation for wanting to produce more in the same series, but just the way that they handled it, it was just poorly executed at the very end.
I hate it when that happens. One of the things that I know was fairly popular was the new Final Fantasy release. Not the 7 remake, that's still ongoing, but 15. I'm going to wait for it for PC before I do anything with it. Um, but yeah, it was a good year for gaming. We also had VR becoming more mainstream. Did you get a VR headset or anything like that, or have messed with VR?
Not yet. I really want to pick up one. I'd like to be able to get a hold of. I think the Google's got some VR headsets that'll work well with most phones, and I think it's called the Daydream View is the one that I'm kind of pinpointing, and it's like I think in the price range of like $70 or $80, and then with the combination of that, your phone, and then some software that you can install an app on your phone, and then an application on your machine that actually playing PC games, and be able to stream them to your phone for a VR-like experience through your phone with the like the Daydream View or the Google Cardboard or something like that, which I may do at some point. And if that becomes, if I do get a chance to do that, and that becomes something that I really enjoy, because you're supposed to be able to take any game and stream it to your phone for that experience, and basically it'll be really nice, and it should be able to like just kind of put you into the game and give you full immersion, which will be pretty awesome, even if the game isn't a VR title.
And of course, politics aside, because that was one of the. It's been a rough year for Oddsmakers, by the way. Every time, like Oddsmakers were saying, "Oh, Brexit's not going to be voted yes on." Well, that happened. Trump's not going to win. Well, because over in Europe, most of the time, they do have bets on who's going to win the presidency. It's perfectly legal over there, and they like it because it's a head-to-head matchup and everything else. But this year, odds makers were thrown for, or last year, they were thrown for a loop. So whoever bet on the long shot probably made out like made a lot of money, um, and everything else. So uh, some of the things that I'm looking forward to this year, one of them being this accidental discovery that I can invite myself to hang out on air through live streaming so that I can jump in and do something like this so I can do more hands-on type of stuff and actually show people like I have something like the like if I were to get like another dongle or something like this, or hey, look at what review hardware came in the mail or something like that. I can do that. Or if I'm have somebody right next to me and or or something like that. Possibilities are kind of endless. So, and how am I coming in on this, by the way? Clear or kind of?
So far, it's very clear. I haven't heard any issues in terms of sound quality. So, honestly, if it's not the network, if like we were thinking earlier, it may be something with that PC that you're using to host everything.
Might be. What I may wind up doing is experimenting in future episodes, taking out a Chromebook and and have that and somehow be like at some location or something and have the desktop mainly for administrative purposes and go from there. Um, so I could possibly be live at some event and be like, this is about to happen. But um, oh, by the way, that right there is my printer with a few things stacked on top of it, but that's my printer.
Nice.
I finally invested in one, and I can literally email myself something, and it'll be printed by the time I get back. So it comes in handy. And I think, like, like for example, let's say you have like a significant other and they need to print out paperwork to update their medical stuff because it's open enrollment, right? That
Yeah.
comes in handy for that. I don't have time to do this. Is it cool if I send it to your printer and get it when I get back home? That sort of thing. Um, and and this desktop, I'm probably going to put a different optical drive in it or ignore it altogether because with this thing is running just fine as is. Um, the tower to my right, I may, and the current tower that the broadcast was started on, I may upgrade the power supplies in those so that I could eventually put better video cards in them. I've not had a chance to see if those quadros work or not. If they do, watch out. But I I need to see if those CRT monitors work and see if anybody needs them because I don't know if I'll be able to really have much of a use for them. Um, and of course, this year I found out I can put in a new power supply without a system blowing up. So, so my main weakness is still installing a processor into a motherboard. And that'll be the last hurdle before I find myself building a custom system of my own. So, exciting times.
Yeah, I've got some old hardware that I took the processor out and everything from the stuff that used to be in this machine here, my AMD core and the motherboard and all that. So you can definitely throw that stuff together.
Yeah, I would need to get myself a case and
I do have an old case. It's missing some parts, but I do have an old case, but I don't have a power supply, unfortunately.
I have a 1,000 watt that's not doing anything. It's
That'll
that,
probably
it's,
work.
bottom, it's that bottom one from that one case that I managed to score.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know what happened to the other sides of that case, by the way. Um, but I'm sure I'll find it, and I might mess with it and see what happens with it. But I'd have to get some time because seeing as how I have new employment, it's more of a Monday through Friday schedule, and the part-time seasonal thing I will be doing early afternoon before uh, heading heading off to the other job. But it's about 4 months, so I'm glad that this is working so that we can do this on the weekends
Absolutely.
and everything else. You're going to mess with your Pi some more, do some more programming. Anything else you have in mind for this year? Like what kind of are there any group projects you'd like to do?
Um, I don't know. I'd definitely be interested in doing some sort of a group project. I'm not sure what it would be or who it would be with, but that would be something that would probably be fairly fun. Um, Nothing else is honestly coming to mind. I mean, I'll probably end up deciding to do something at some point. Um, I know probably in a couple of years, hopefully, if I can ever save up enough money, I'd like to just do a complete rebuild of my PC and get some real high-level, powerful hardware. It'd be nice to be able to do that this year, especially with Ryzen coming out and AMD's finally coming out with their new high-end graphics architecture called Vega, and throwing full AMD system back together like I had from like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh my goodness. And the other thing that kind of came to mind when you mentioned all of that, I started it. I didn't quite finish setting it up. We will be having a Patreon account or a Patreon set up in the near future.
Awesome.
Because it came to the point where, like some co-host from The Dick Show basically said during one of their early episodes, you have to give yourself permission to earn money doing this. And that's been one of my downfalls, is for the longest time it just didn't feel right. And now that it's getting a little more consistent in terms of posting content, probably can start setting that infrastructure up now, so that when things start coming down the pipe, hey, if you want to see this cool review, well, guess what? This costs money, because companies aren't going to send us free samples. We're not that big, and come up with some incentives for various things, because behind the scenes or something like that, or custom birthday greeting. I don't know. Just don't ask me to be in my birthday suit, because I don't see that working very. I see that being illegal in all 50 states. So, but some stuff like that. Because I can imagine Curtis with his iPhone, connected to the YouTube channel, going, "Holy crap! Look at this tornado way over here," and doing that to where people can be like, "Oh my God," and things like that. Stephen Kelley is thinking of doing more, sci-fi, British sci-fi related stuff as well, and I haven't had a chance to, do something with him in so long. Like to have him on the show more often, do more reviews of various things, and be there when crazy people from crazy sites open their mouth, and I'm there to point it out and go, yeah, weren't you the opposite about years ago? And those sorts of things. Because, unbeknownst to, certain people who happen to be radio talk show hosts in Austin, Texas, I do remember when they say certain things that would be contradictory today. I do remember. I remember that, and I'm shaking my head, going, "Yeah, yeah. You go on and sell your supplements, supplements." But and that sort of thing. Last year's been a weird year. This year's I think this year's going to be interesting too. A lot of people are waiting for the current president-elect to fall flat on his face, and a lot of people are expecting him to be impeached. Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it might. I don't think he's quite done anything, at least yet, that's going to really push for that. I mean, I don't know. in my opinion, I don't like the guy, but I think we should at least give him a chance first before right out of the gate start impeaching the guy. I mean, is he an idiot? Yeah, I think he's an idiot, but there's checks and balances in place to keep things from happening. So give the guy a chance, and if it doesn't work, then yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to get impeached. How long that takes, that's a totally different story.
Oh my goodness. Um, and who knows? We could all be surprised and go, this was one of those accidental good things that happened, like this situation where I can invite myself and be like, "Oh, look, the camera's moving! Wow!" But I do need to update my workspace a little bit. It's gotten cramped. Um, Maybe assemble one more desk. I haven't decided on that yet. But pretty much what's going to happen in the future is going to be more content for sure. I don't know what I'm going to produce the magazine with yet, if I'm going to use LibreOffice, do straight HTML or what, but or if I'll just keep posting to the website and that'd be it for the time being and expand from there. But um, the sky's the limit. So um, with that said, you think this is going to be an interesting year? Anything you're looking forward to?
Well, I know in, let's see, less than 10 days, there's a video game coming out that I'm looking forward to, that I've been looking forward to, and then subsequently another one in the same series coming out in March, which is just a re-release, repackaged for the PS4. Are you familiar with Kingdom Hearts at all?
King Marts?
Kingdom Hearts, sorry. I can't talk.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts, yes.
The Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 remix comes out on the 17th. I'm pretty sure it's the 17th. If it's not, I'm going to be very sad. Oh, no, it comes out on the 12th? It's Thursday? Oh, that's in January. That's in Japan. I think it releases here in the U.S. on the 17th. I'm going to double, triple check that. But either way, that's coming out this month. Very exciting.
Um, Probably won't be able to go to it this year, probably because of schedule constraints, but there are a couple of upcoming conventions here in Missouri. Um, and, well, not quite Missouri. This one's actually going to be in Overland Park, but it's near the area. NakaCon's coming up March 10th through the 12th at the Overland Park Convention Center. So for those who are interested, want to buy some last minute tickets or passes, feel Naka-con, spelled with a K.com. It's where you can go to for that. And UCM is going to have its, believe it or not, second annual Stealth Con, 509th Force Support Squadron from Whiteman Air Force Base is the one that does this. So, and it's gonna, apparently they're going to be doing celebrity appearances, cosplay guest artists, comics vendors, and products, blah 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 blah. And March 25th through the 26th. So and I don't think they have more details right now. We've got some great things on the way. Get ready. I guess they're still kind of working on this last minute thing. But they did it last year, and I guess they decided to do it again this year. Oh, But I think one special guest, Simply Kit's Illustration. I guess it's more of a local thing, but it's good for those who can't go very far for a convention. And UCM is a right place to. They have enough space for a small convention.
Oh yeah,
especially the Elliott Union. They've got big conference rooms and everything else. So that, I think they were pretty successful last year, and then I guess they're doing it again this year. So those are the two conventions that are kind of upcoming, and as throughout the year, as more and more pop up, I'll bring up notice of more conventions for people who might be interested in them. But thestealthcon.com is where apparently you can go for more information as it becomes available. But I guess they don't have event partners yet and things like that. But I guess they're going to be doing Magic the Gathering, Aether Revolt sealed deck tournament, and a Yu-Gi-Oh! Constructed deck tournament as well. So they're also doing Battle Decks, Trials of Blood and Steel, PS4, Xbox One gaming area, sorted games, and even a board game area. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have. You have anything in your area, any conventions in your area that you know of?
Here in Columbia, not that I know of, not that's going to be happening this year.
Oh,
I know there was last year we had a contest thing that some of the employees at shelter took part in for raising money for something. I forgot what it was, but it was for kids. And a couple of employees from shelter went and won the contest, and I forgot what it was for, but it was pretty awesome. I didn't actually see anything on it, but I did see some pictures and some stuff like that.
Well, if that's all you have and that's all I have, I guess this would be a good time to say entertain yourself, educate yourself, and empower yourself. Everybody have a wonderful day, and I will get this up as probably this Friday. That way, that'll be a good way to end the week. But anyway, I'll see you all later.
See you guys.